Let's start from the top, shall we? Hey everyone, I'm Jet from inthirdperson.com, person look at video games, board games, and other nerdy pursuits. I realized I'm going to put this on YouTube afterwards, and it's going to be really weird for people watching, like, what the hell is going on? I'm Jet, she's Kris from Double Jump. I know the audio video is going to lag a little bit. That's okay. We've had a lot of technical difficulties, but we got here, and that's what is important. And I'm really excited for this part. Nevertheless, we got Ian here. Hanny's still here, Randy's here, and I'm really excited because we're gonna take you to a different part of the house. So come with me and have a seat by the fireplace. I don't know if Kris can see this, but here we are. This is the master study here in the Jet Mansion, and Randy says, "Who said I'm still here?" Yeah, I've set this up to look just like home. We've got Kris is sitting in her nice cozy armchair.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Thank you. And he says this is amazing.
It's fantastic.
We've got some art. We've got the KK slider, anxiously awaiting for Animal Crossing New Horizons. We got Ryu, the Notorious B.I.G., and I noticed that the chat is being obstructed by the Toronto Raptors championship banner. Let's move the chat over here. And Ian says, love the KK slider pick. Thank you. Randy says, this is a much nicer room. Why don't you stream here all the time? I'm working on it.
You need to change out the pictures every once in a while as well.
Yeah, we'll do that. So, we were actually discussing yesterday, like, what do we do if we can't play Pokemon because Nintendo Online was down? And we were like, hey, why don't we do like a fireside chat where we're sitting by the fireplace and we just kind of have like a casual conversation about whatever. So here we are. We set this up.
And I was like, dude, you have to get a picture of a fireplace. And Joe went above and beyond with the animation and everything.
Yeah, so you guys can probably hear the fireplace too. This took more time than it should, but I really like the effect. So maybe we'll make this a thing. Fireside chats with Kris and Jet.
That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've independently prepared a whole bunch of notes of things to talk about. Everybody else in the chat is free to join in and steer the chat wherever it goes. I'm gonna start here, Kris.
Okay.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Oh wow, very
Although
definitive.
I mean, my family, we've always had dogs. I've always grown up with dogs. Cats were more recent.
Okay.
When our first cat adopted us, so he kind of came in to our house and decided to stay.
And Dirty Llama, welcome to the chat. He says, what is this? I know. Yeah, we're just having a fireside chat here between myself, Jet from inthirdperson.com, and my friend Kris over at doublejump.com. We were playing some Pokemon earlier, but we decided to just kind of relax, just have a conversation. We both have some notes and just opening up the floor to chat about whatever. And we've started with dogs versus cats. I mean, pick one, dogs or cats.
And Ian said cats, I see, and I'm going to counterpoint that with my cats have always acted like dogs, whereas my dogs have always acted like cats, typically. So we've had very social cats.
Mm. Randy says, I thought you were saying you were leaving. Gotta go, cats. And Dirty Llama says, so that's where we're at tonight? Dogs all day. Nice. I'm generally not a pet person. I think I've always had an aversion to pets. I had a traumatizing experience as a very young child. One of my earliest memories in life was like a dog jumping on me, and that just kind of horrified me ever since. I also have allergies to specific fur. But then one day in my adult years, my mom was like, screw it. I want a dog. I was waiting for these kids to move out before we got one. I'm just going to get a dog. So definitely have more experience with dogs and cats. And I'm a lot more I'm a lot more allergic to cats than dogs, so I'm gonna have to go with dogs on this one.
I'm technically allergic to cats as well, but we have them anyway.
Okay. Dirty Llama says he has a question for the both of us.
Mhm.
I don't know what that question is. Hanny says cats make me break out in hives, so dogs win by default. Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, cats. I feel like cats more prone to allergies. Well, not that the cats have allergies, but they cause more allergies in people than dogs.
Mhm. My video looks a little ridiculous with how delayed it is.
I'm sorry
I
about
apologize
that.
for anybody else who's watching.
Yeah, apologies for that. This was we had issues with Discord not playing nice, and this was our plan B solution. Still wanted to go forward with it because I thought bringing everybody to the fireplace was going to be a good idea nevertheless. So we're making do. Hanny says, I'm also allergic to dogs, but they're cute, so I have one anyways.
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Hanny, so you got one like a couple months ago. How's the dog mom life?
And what kind of dog is it?
Yeah, that too.
We need names,
Mm-hmm.
pictures.
Yeah, our mom's first dog was named Slider after KK Slider. Randy and I named the dog.
That's awesome.
The second dog, a golden retriever. The first one was a German Shepherd. Second one, still alive. Is Cooper, named after my dad. My dad got a Mini Cooper around the same time that they got the dog, so named the dog after the car. And then third dog, her name is Isabel. They just call her Izzy after Isabel in Smash Bros. Well, Animal Crossing. Yeah. Hanny says, I have a white female rescue boxer named Ori. She's sweet and
Aw.
has so much energy. Awesome.
Boxers is so much fun.
Mm. Yeah, I don't have that much experience with most dog. I couldn't tell you one to the next, but dogs are fun. I like puppies. If I had to pick puppies or kittens though, I'm picking kittens. I think kittens
Okay.
are a little cuter. I like that they almost seem like a little more dependent on you than dogs, but I've also had like kittens like crawl up my leg, and that's kind of cool.
Mhm.
Although it can be kind of sharp though.
Yes, our cat is not exactly a kitten right now, and he still tries to climb up our legs, especially when food's around.
Dirty Llama asks question if yeah, I'm not gonna answer that question, Kris. You don't have to answer that question.
Nope.
Kris, hit me with something, anything.
Which Pokemon games have you had the least experience with?
The least, like zero experience, or like I played a little bit and just didn't play much after.
Like, which one is probably like your least favorite?
My least favorite Pokemon game. I haven't played that many, so it would be a pretty short list. I guess well, I only played the demo for the new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I wasn't really into that.
Rachel loves those games. I remember when they first came out for the Game Boy Advance and the DS. I played a little bit of it. They weren't my taste. I like the beginning quiz
Okay.
that asks what Pokemon you are, but but like for the main core games, my least favorite is probably Unova.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's supposed to be the one that's based off of my country, and I'm just like, I'm not into this. Give me more fantastic settings.
Ian says, I've never played Gen 4 at all. Just missed it for whatever reason. I'd say my least favorite is 5th Gen, which I started but never finished.
Yep, that's Unova, yeah.
And Ian,
I like the Pokemon, but
okay. Ian also says, I like the first Mystery Dungeon, but haven't enjoyed subsequent ones. And Hanny says, my brother is so mad I haven't picked up Mystery Dungeon yet. It's his childhood. I played Mystery Dungeon for, I don't know, like a couple hours, just that demo, and I found the combat to be not that interesting to me, so I just couldn't get into it.
What Pokemon did you end up being after the quiz?
Machop.
Machop?
Yeah.
Do you remember which Pokemon was your partner?
Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Yeah, it was Machop and Pikachu. It was very weird, the intros. Those are weird and neat, but then yeah, just the fighting and actual movement just wasn't that interesting to me. Maybe there's more to it than that, but I'm not.
No, you'd have to talk to Rachel about it more.
Yeah, I saw she like plowed through that game. Is there more to do after you beat it?
I believe so. She's played it after she's continued playing it after she beat it, but
at least there's stuff going on afterwards, and it's definitely stuff to play in these particular times. The more the merrier. Yes. It seems like the game industry in some shape or form is still going, including GameStop. I still can't believe they're keeping their stores open in light of everything happening.
It sounds bizarre to me.
Yeah, just very greedy, and like the fact that I've heard I think one of the stories I saw was the fact that like GameStop promised stores hand sanitizer and they haven't sent any, and they're telling the employees to like expense it themselves. And at one point, like the staff had decided to shut off the demo machines because they don't have anything to clean it up. And then GameStop stepped in, was like, no, you have to keep those on. Like, really? Really?
Yeah, no. I mean, you're not even supposed to be going out right now anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I'm back. I'm like, who's still going to GameStop to keep them still open right now?
Yeah.
And yes, Ian, Reggie must not be making the decisions yet. That was what I said. I'm like, why? I'm like, Reggie, where are you?
Yeah. I just don't see I understand GameStop probably needs the money, and Animal Crossing is coming out soon. I bet they might shut off like right after Animal Crossing comes out, but it's kind of gross that they're still open in light of all things. All right.
But it's a shame.
I'm going to throw this is going to be a tough maybe you'll have the answer for it right away. But in light of Disney buying Fox, how do you introduce the X-Men into the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
No, it took me a second. I'm like, because what movies did Fox do? I don't really pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah, they do X-Men, basically.
Right, so, and honestly, like, I haven't even seen any of the X-Men movies since the first three.
Okay.
Like the original three.
Days of Future Past was really good.
So I heard some of them were pretty good.
Some, yeah, they're very hit and miss.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
as for how they would,
yeah, I guess the question
how they would probably put in. I mean, I'm trying to think if they have any other connections to them already. I mean, obviously it's all the Marvel universe and everything. They could just would it all be in the same, because you had Quicksilver and you have Scarlet Witch. Magneto was their father. There's definitely a thread right there that they could just add it all in together.
That's very smart. Yeah, so Quicksilver dead, Scarlet Witch still alive. I don't know the spoilers. And maybe that's the tie-in.
And also, you don't know what they're doing with the WandaVision TV show. I heard rumors about Scarlet Witch having her twins, which ended up being one of the new teams. I believe it was one of the new X-Men teams. I think they were members of that.
Okay.
Or maybe it was one of the new Avengers teams. I'm not sure. I have to brush up on my X-Men lore.
Yeah. Yeah, X-Men. Oh man, X-Men lore is, I mean, I love the X-Men, but X-Men lore is like the worst to brush up on. Oh my god, I don't even know where you start. It's such a nightmare because there's so many different books and spin-offs and characters, and the Chris Claremont stuff. Like, it's great. Maybe it hasn't aged as well, but like that's basic. His run on it from like the 70s to the 90s is like one 20-year story that you have to read from beginning to end. It's tough.
I have the original. I have volumes of the original comics back from like the very first one.
Oh man!
And then like, so I have to reread those.
Hot take.
I've read them in a
Hot
while.
take. Rest in peace, Stanley.
Mm.
I think he made amazing characters. Like, clearly he's made amazing characters that have withstood the test of time. I really don't like his writing. Maybe it's just it hasn't aged as well. But like reading some of those old Spider-Man comics, definitely reading the X-Men comics, it feels like everybody is voiced exactly the same. They all read like carnival barkers, and he came up with amazing characters and like the general frameworks for all these characters. I just didn't like his. I guess the Spider-Man stuff's better than the X-Men stuff, but I don't know. I thought his dialogue was not great. Maybe it was for the time, but
perhaps. I mean, it depends on when it came out and everything as well. Timing definitely has to do with it. So you like his character concept ideas rather than just his dialogue.
Yes. And Hanny says, Ian's one says he wants to see the New Mutants.
I don't. I saw that it's like more horror film now, and I'm like, I don't know anymore.
And Hanny says, I feel like that about superheroes in general. I want to read more Marvel comics, but I have no idea where to start. I actually did a post. One of my most popular posts on In Third Person back when I used to write about comic books was 8 places to start reading X-Men. It's probably a bit out of date now, but I do make some recommendations on where to start. I think it's best don't start from the very beginning, though. Oh, man, those first comics are really rough and not necessary. Ian says, that's why I'm interested. I feel like superhero movies have stagnated, so the fact that it is horror makes it more interesting to me.
No, I'm sure it'll be fantastic. I'm just not one for horror films.
Okay. So I part of why I bring this up, and not everyone would be privy to this information because they're not part of our Discord. I hope they're not. It's secret. Get out. Secret club. Is that a long time ago, I discovered that Kris and Rachel, just like me, are big X-Men fans. And Kris, how did you discover X-Men?
My uncle who introduced me to video games.
Oh, man.
He had a lot of, some comics. I think I started collecting them more than he did, and I've definitely fallen off the wayside for them. Like, I want to start collecting them again, but that's where it all started. Okay. I was like, oh, comic books are a thing. This is great. What is this? Superheroes. Look at this.
Ian says, Chris's legendary nerd uncle is the real MVP. Yes. Hashtag free Uncle Ricky.
Yes.
Yeah, my introduction to comics was Archie. And my grandmother had a bunch of the Archie digests that she would get presumably from the convenience store. And I read a ton of those. And at a certain point, like I stopped reading, and in grade 5, we had a fundraiser to help save the rainforest. And I decided to sell all of her books. And I guess on one hand, we helped save a chunk of the rainforest. On the other hand, I don't have any of those books anymore, and she passed away not long after. So that was like one of the big things she handed down to me, and I sold it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Those comics were actually some of the first ones that my uncle introduced me to them. And for years on my birthday, he would get me a year subscription to a couple of titles.
Wow.
And I literally have a couple of tubs of bins of Archie comics.
Nice.
In our eaves right now.
That's awesome. And Hanny says, my intro to comics was actually through a poet, believe it or not. Oh, you're going to have to tell us more.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what poet introduced you to comics? And what context? Yeah, my modern run of comics was through Steph, who had more of an interest in reading. She bought, it was around the time of DC's New 52 and Marvel Now. So she bought like the issue 1 of Suicide Squad. And then when we decided like, all right, let's go read comics, we ended up buying like the giant omnibuses of DC and Marvel. And it was like, here's issue 1 of everything DC and everything Marvel in this current run. And
that is awesome.
They were all being cleared out. So like it was pretty cheap. And it was, here's the starting point for every major superhero. read through it, pick the ones you want, like that we wanted to continue with. And of those, one of the standouts, like X-Men, I was gonna do because I loved X-Men from the cartoon. But the standout for me was Wonder Woman, and that Wonder Woman New 52 run is quite possibly my favorite comic run.
That's awesome. I want to read more comics. We don't have the room for them as much as I would like.
That's what ended up. I mean, a couple of things stopped me from reading comics. Like one, they take up a bunch of space. The big one was cost, where if you want to keep up every week, it's like $4 or $5 at least Canadian, $4 or $5 an issue. You're going to the store every week, you read it, and then it's like, well, 5 minutes later, I'm done with this. Now what do I do? And then you're waiting for the next week, the next month, or then you're reading like 10 different series at the same time, which I've also done. And then all of a sudden you're like $30-$40 a week and you got like an hour of entertainment. And I'm like, is this the best use of my money? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And same thing with like the library. Like maybe I could check them off in the library, but even then I could just go in there, read it in 5 minutes, and then there we go. Yeah.
Ian says the only comic series I've read consistently are the Avatar Last Airbender comics. I have not read those.
That's a series I always hear about, and I've never, I know what it is about. I know what it is, but I've never read or seen anything on it.
Okay.
And Handy actually mentioned the poet was William Blake, a Romantic era poet known for printing his comics with images that help tell the overall story. That sounds really interesting. I'll have to look that up too.
All right. Of the modern comics, the only one I guess I kind of keep up with, I only buy the book. I haven't read. I'm not fully caught up, but I guess I have time because they're on hiatus. I read Saga, and that is by Brian K. Vaughan, who's probably my favorite comic writer. He's also he wrote like at least one Wolverine story. He was a producer on the show, writer on the show Lost. And he also did a couple of other series called like Paper Girls and We Stand on Guard. And yeah, Saga is so good. It's like, and Hanny says, I love Saga. I'm all caught up. It's fantastic.
I've heard of it. I haven't read it yet though.
I think it's really good. But Kris, I don't know if it would be your cup of tea in light of your like PG ratings. Because it's definitely, it has moments of not being that.
Okay. Thank you for the warning. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah. But it is very good if you ever do decide to check it out. I'm just giving you the warning in advance. You might see some stuff you may not want to see. But it's basically like if you took Romeo and Juliet and Star Wars and mashed them together. All right, Kris, next question or next topic.
Actually, going off of your last question, since you started with Archie comics, have you ever watched Riverdale?
I've watched like a few bits and pieces here and there, but I have not really followed the show. I
read up on it just because I know the characters, but I never watched it because I'm like, this is not these characters.
Yeah, is it like, does it veer a little too far, like modern different for you from like what they are in the comics?
I mean, I think the only things similar really are the character names. Well, like, it's about like the murder and everything. Whereas the comics growing up, I just remember it was all like, rated G and everything like that. So yeah, I was like, this was my childhood. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm glad more people know about these characters, but if someone watched that show and then decided to get into the comics, they would be like, this is not the show at all.
Randy says, I found Riverdale genuinely intriguing in season 1, and then every season after got progressively more ludicrous.
And Hanny seems to think the same, actually. Everything after was something.
Okay. And Ian also says, you've obviously never experienced the glorious highs and lows of American football. I don't know what that. Maybe it's Archie. I can't remember. And Ian says it's super campy and ridiculous, but it knows it's campy and ridiculous. So if you're into that kind of thing, it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, I think they've been signed off for like 3 more years or something, the
Yeah.
actors.
I
So
would,
it's still going.
before I went on hiatus with comics, I read a little bit of the modern Archie series, which Riverdale is loosely based on, and it's really good. I was very shocked at they were able to find a way to modernize those characters. But the modern Archie comics are definitely more rated G than Riverdale. Riverdale's definitely more edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought like Archie was doomed and there would be no way to modernize it, but they did.
Yeah.
One of the few times, like, man, with movies in general, it's so depressing seeing how many remakes and rehashes of old ideas they keep bringing back because they think it's the safe bet, and like, no one cares. No, why do we need another Charlie's Angels movie?
I don't know.
Why did we need another Doolittle? Oh man,
That I'm kind of disappointed didn't come up. Like, I wasn't really interested in seeing it. I think I was more interested just the fact it was Robert Downey Jr. I wanted to see what he would do after Iron Man.
okay.
Like, I didn't see the movie though, and I heard it didn't do very well.
No. Speaking of bomb movies, Cats. I read some stuff. I have a fascination for the movie Cats. My wife and I actually saw it in the theater, and it was truly one of the most spectacularly bad movies you've ever seen in our life. That's a whole other rant. We've ranted about Cats a lot on the stream. So fast forward to today, a couple of hours ago, and some people have been calling for Cats to, or no, there was a writer who asked, like, I need to see, like, read the behind the scenes of the making of Cats. And someone chimed in and said, I'm friends of a friend of someone on the special effects team, and his sole job while he was on there was to edit out the buttholes of the cats in the film that they decided to take out after they rendered the buttholes in. And so,
oh my God.
and so, yes, everyone is now asking. Ian says it. Yes, the butthole cut of Cats.
Oh my God, that poor sap. Like, imagine that being your job.
I mean, it probably pays good money, but to see,
Probably, but
yeah, just editing out CG cat buttholes. Ugh.
No. No. Was the music nice?
Sorry?
Like, I know was the music at least done well, or
No, it was terrible.
was
It was bad
No.
music. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I thought okay, well, since you and I have not had this chat, Hanny says definitely looked at trending today and just went nope and logged out. So yeah, why Cats is bad? Like, the CG is bad. Yes, it's inconsistent. In the earlier cut of it, like, it was actually glitchy and you'd see stuff glitch through. They made some really weird choices on what cats wore clothes and which cats did not. There's a scene towards the end of the movie where Idris Elba, side note, Idris Elba, get better soon. He's wearing like a fur coat the whole time until the end of the movie where he's not, and you're just like, oh my God, this is naked Idris Elba. This is really weird. Even so, like, the worst part about the movie is the plot. Like, there's no plot. The first half of the movie is just the characters introducing themselves in song one at a time, and then all of a sudden there's this pageant of presumably pick the cat that gets to go to heaven, and then they pick one, and then that's it.
What?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. And Ian says the original Cats musical wasn't good. I have no idea why they thought a movie would be any better.
Okay, see, I knew it was a musical. That's why I was asking about the music. I didn't know the musical wasn't that great.
Yeah, see,
That's pretty much all I knew about it.
I got the sense that the movie sticks very closely to the musical. And then, having watched some renditions of the musical on YouTube, it's like, yeah, this is like shot for shot the musical, just with superstar actors in a really bad movie.
Wow.
So yeah, if you really want to watch like the a legendarily bad film that we will be talking about decades from now. Check out Cats. Or I mean, like once it goes into streaming, like we're all bunkered in, like under quarantine anyway. You got time.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Whose turn is it for next topic?
I don't know. Just gonna ask you that. I think it's your turn.
Hanny says, but is it The Room? I have not seen The Room yet. That is on my list of movies to check out. Let's see. All right, here we go. I wish I should have had another. I'm not going to open another browser for this. Who are your top 5 characters in Fire Emblem 3 Houses?
Claude.
Okay, there's one.
Okay, I'm trying to think, because I technically still have only played the Golden Deer and the Cindered Shadows route.
Okay.
I'm in the middle of Blue Lines.
That's fine.
Ash.
All right.
Hilda.
Okay, yeah, she's good.
I really liked Happy.
Sorry, say that again. You really like...
Happy? Is that how you pronounce her name? She was in Cindered Shadows.
Oh, okay. I haven't played Cinder Shadows, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
you should play Cindered Shadows.
Okay.
And one more. Caspar. I like him.
Okay. Yeah, he definitely grew on me over time playing the Black Eagles campaign, where I thought he was just overly headstrong, and he definitely grows up throughout the game. I don't know how much of that you see as a Golden Deer member, but
I forget why I think I might have recruited him, but I know he and Hilda, at least, like, they had their support conversations, and I found it hilarious.
I'm gonna look at my giant picture here. Sorry to take everybody out of the fire room. Looking at the poster, because I have everybody on there. I love back to the fireplace. Yeah, I'm gonna say Claude. Claude's on my list. Randy says BRB.
Claude's on everybody's list.
Yeah, Claude's on everybody's list. Absolutely. Bernadetta up there. Bernie, I love her very much.
Haven't played with her just yet. So
she's so good. Who are the other ones? Who else on the black? There's someone else on the Petra. Petra is like the purest soul. She's amazing. Yeah. Dedu is great. I think he was another character playing on the other squads where I was like, this guy's just like, he is as stiff as a board. And then once you play like the Blue Lions campaign, is it the Blue Lions?
It is Blue Lions.
Yeah, when you play as them, the Dudu is like the best. And I think
I don't think there's really a character that I dislike.
Oh man, there's one I absolutely despise. What's his name on the Black Eagles? The creepy dude.
Hubert?
Yes. Cannot stand it. I don't like him, and I don't like Lawrence. Those are my bottom two.
Lawrence was interesting.
Hanny's list: Sedith, Dorothea, Petra, Bernadetta, Claude. That's a pretty solid. I'm not the biggest Sedith fan, but I'd go with you on 4 out of 5 of those.
Sedith actually grew on me, so like at first I wasn't too thrilled with him either.
Okay. Ian says dislike Ferdinand von Ayer. And then he also says, I don't like Lawrence, but I think he's a compelling character.
I think he had a decent character. Like he kind of developed.
Okay. I didn't get that far. That was my streaming one, unfortunately, and maybe someday we'll finish that 3 Houses playthrough. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and with the streaming, the idea of like playing one game from beginning to end, I like it in theory. I just don't know if I can make that work logistically. Like Paper Mario, that was fun, and I was streaming. I think I was streaming more then than I am now, and like that took 5 months to beat. Streaming it like pretty consistently, and I just don't know if I can keep doing that for other stuff.
It's kind of why I took a break with Ocarina of Time. Like my control is kind of old and stuff too, and I'm not that great at the game, despite how much I love it. So I was like, you know what? Instead of like keep playing it through, we're gonna take a break and do some Stardew for a while.
Yeah.
And I think that's also why Rachel, when she is able to stream, she tends to alternate weeks. Like 1 week it'll be Sims, next week it'll be something else.
Yeah, I need to find my groove. I think knowing that I'm streaming only 2 days a week, and it's like one of those days is probably gonna be like a Tetris or an Overwatch or something like that. It's hard to play anything long on stream. And then there's also certain games like I've seen certain streamers who are really amazing at streaming single player story games, and when I at least when I feel like I stream them, it feels really boring. I don't know if my talents as a streamer work for that style of game.
Hey, and you just have to find your own style for it.
Yeah, maybe. Like I struggle. I was just like, oh, these games just don't work. There's a streamer called Story Mode Bay who I'm really into. She plays mostly single player stuff, and I think just her sassy attitude towards everything really fits, while still being able to like add her own flavor to it.
So okay, let's check her out.
Yeah. Hanny says I S ranked Seteth, and I love his character arc with Byleth.
So I keep forgetting about the teacher characters now, honestly.
Manuela, Wawa.
She plays the voice of Ash Ketchum.
Yeah,
did you know that?
I saw her in real life at a convention, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm the voice of Ash and Manuela." Like,
That's awesome.
And Ian says, Seteth supports conversations really flesh him out. He had an amazing support with Ingrid that endeared him to me a lot.
Yeah, I enjoy seeing his support conversations, like, because he automatically was recruited when I was doing the Golden Deer route. So I was like, all right, you're here now. Go make friends. So I enjoy them. That's what I do with the characters. I'm like, all right, who's here? Everyone needs to support everybody. We're doing all this like practice battle so you guys can stay together. I need to know the stories.
Oh man, this is probably a question for another Fireside Chat, or like some other sort of stream of like, if we were to cast a Fire Emblem Three Houses movie, which actors and actresses would we get to play each role? That's a good question. I should.
This is a good question, but I don't pay attention enough to actors to fully answer that, I think.
Okay. Still,
I'll have to do research.
Yeah. Let's do some research, and maybe we'll do that for YouTube, and we'll pick.
Okay.
All right. Because, yeah, I have to start thinking about Season 2 stuff, and let's tag team that. And it doesn't even have to be, like, every single character. Maybe we just pick a couple.
Okay.
Yeah. Side note, Ian, any updates on your streaming computer and I guess your video computer and your video content? And Ian says, gotta cast the guys who voices Claude as Claude. His real life personality is pretty much the same. Okay.
I'm okay with this. Yes.
Yeah, it's a good question. All right. Let me actually write that down on my phone. I have a list I keep on my phone of video ideas, and I will write that down. Yeah, it's a pretty long list, and I haven't done like the vast majority of it. And most of these are dumb ideas that I'll never do, but I like to write down everything.
I'm gonna write it down just in case.
Yeah. What is your process for like, I have an idea to I make it happen, whether it's art, whether it's your writing, or whatever other creative projects you do?
I just do it. If I like, it's just basically finding the time for me, especially since I'm out of the house the majority of the day because of my day job.
Okay, here we go. You're sitting at your desk at your day job, and an idea strikes. What do you do?
If it's writing, usually if it's slow enough, I might be able to just go on Google Docs and just do it.
Okay.
Or I make a note on my phone or through my email.
I can't remember which music artist this was. I think I've heard this from a couple of times, where where musicians will have like this idea for like a medley or something, and they'll call their voice, like this is before you could record stuff easily on your phone. They would call their own voicemail and then just like hum it into their phone to remember for next time.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah. So arcade.
My voicemail doesn't work half the time though, so that wouldn't work for me.
Ian says, I haven't been looking at parts recently. With all the stress lately, I haven't felt motivated to do the research. I don't blame you. And I'm starting to get behind on my blog, so keeping up with that is pretty much all my free time. Understandable. Yeah.
The blogs was actually something that Jet and I were talking about before we went live.
I think this is actually a fantastic question for the group, because we have other creators in here as well. In light of recent events, how has that impacted your mojo? And yeah, I was telling Kris just before, and I kind of put a post up about it I think it was Friday, where I try and have like a running queue of stuff. That's how I'm able to post every day, is I write a bunch of stuff and then I schedule it ahead. And once the world kind of crumbled into oblivion, I looked at the post in my queue and I was just like, this doesn't feel right. It's not the voice that I want to be projecting out into the world in light of everything that's happened. And I pulled everything back. And so I had a couple days of buffer because there were some video posts I still wanted to go live, but I've either like written completely different posts that are more personal about life experiences post pandemic, or just reworked some of the posts that were originally scheduled to reframe it up based on the world we live in today.
Well, that was like how last week I didn't do any solo posts. And then this past Monday, my post was just basically me talking about how this has affected me in my work. Just being like, this is why I've just been coming home playing video games all day. Just kind of escaping into a different world.
Yeah.
And then today, though, when I was working from home with my work email up all day, I was able to do like kind of a regular post for Friday, which was really nice to write. Just because it was normal.
Yeah. I'm still like, I think the thing that I really enjoyed in these recent days is the streaming. This has felt as normal as it's going to be. And even when we're talking about the super messed up stuff happening in the world, it feels comforting to be able to talk about this with you, with everybody in the chat. And like, I can still bounce between like, hey, we're having fun playing video games, and hey, let's talk about serious stuff and make sure everybody's okay.
I like how we haven't said it by name yet.
Oh, no. Yeah, so everybody, we're all in hiding for the Voldemort 27s. Yes. Yeah. Hanny says, I'm trying really hard to get back into writing, but it's rough between work and all of the external stress in society. Yep. And Ian says, so far it hasn't impacted me too much. The big thing is that I've been a bit busier, so I'm not as ahead on posts as I was previously. I don't have anything for Friday, for example. All right.
That's fair. Rachel and I had a bunch of different post ideas to do for this month, and then we just, with the world kind of imploding, we haven't really sat down and actually written any of it.
Yeah, I hear you. The streaming thing, I think I can pretty much continue on. If anything, it's therapeutic to come on here and be able to chat with you guys. Writing has been weird. I don't quite know exactly what I want to say. I just know it has to be a little more like in the moment. And I think the thing that's been hurt the most is like playing games. I just haven't been that motivated to play much. There's just been other things going on. Also been really busy. Ironically, still been really busy at work, even though there's no building for me to go to.
least you're still busy though.
Yeah.
My work kind of just depends on the public and everything, and we haven't been open to them this week.
Mm.
But
All right, Kris, topic. Go for it.
all right. Well, speaking of YouTube,
All right.
what has been one of the more recent YouTube channels you've discovered that you've been enjoying so far?
Ooh, YouTube channels that I enjoy. I've been watching a lot of streaming advice ones. So, let me know if everyone on stream, if this like breaks the channel or breaks the view, like if Kris disappears. No, okay. Let me pull up my YouTube here and I can let you guys know what I'm watching. Like lately or just ever?
I was thinking lately, but ever is good too. Whatever you want to answer.
Sure. Late 111 more. Okay. Alpha Gaming, if you have any interest in streaming, I think his stuff, I know, Kris, I've sent you a bunch of his videos.
Yes, I love the random research that you send us.
And so this is another thing. Part of our ongoing friendship is me just sending them like all sorts of resources as we go. And so I've sent lots of guides and tutorials on things and recommendations on assorted gear.
And we always appreciate it. We don't get a chance to respond to all of it, but we always appreciate it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I throw that stuff over the fence most of the time. And then actually, I'm not going to go too much into like our private conversations, but most of the time it's like we almost never talk about video games. It's always just like assorted other things.
No, you're right.
Yeah. It's always about other stuff, but I appreciate that a lot.
One of the channels we've been watching lately, it has nothing to do with video games. It's actually called How to Cake It.
Okay.
So it's basically like, I think you've mentioned that Steph has watched Nailed It.
Yes.
There was this one judge, I think it was on like the first season. She was from How to Cake It. And we recently realized that we never actually checked out her channel, despite the fact that we've seen her before. So, and it's basically, she makes like realistic looking cakes. Like we watched one the other day, it looked like a shoe. There's another one, she made it look like Olaf. And then she just has these really elaborate cakes. Like there's one that just looks like a giant pile of chocolate chip cookies. And it is so satisfying to watch, like the way she makes them. And she's funny too, like she's very casual with the way she talks. And it just makes me want to eat cake.
Okay. Cakes. Let me find a not gaming channel here. Oh, here we go. If you enjoy music, I love the channel Soundfield. It's by PBS, and they talk about like a lot of like science of music. So and like history stuff. Like here we go. I guess one of their most popular videos recently was, wait, where did dubstep go? Another one, why K-pop is more complex than you think. That one was really fascinating, where they go into like the actual chord structure of K-pop songs and break down like they're actually more complex than your standard Western pop music. There was one about repetition in music, and somebody made this tool to like denote the different words that are used, and it generates these charts of like these like crazy patterns that show like, I guess, the repetition of music. And it's really cool to see like, one, music visualized like that, two, how much that we actually like repetition in music. One of the studies they did was they took this one classical music song that everyone in the research didn't what was I going to say? That the test group had not heard. And they had two versions of it. One that was the original, which is like one of the least repetitive songs ever. And two, where they took like a snippet of the song and then looped it a couple of times over. And the version that was looped a couple of times over actually scored way better than the version that wasn't.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, it may also just be easier to, like, that's what we remember. We remember all the choruses and everything, all the repetitive parts of the song, more so than the one-liners, I guess, if you will.
I'm not sure. I think Hanny's gone now. But if you come back
Bye,
and watch this
Hanny.
later, Hanny. I said bye in the chat, but. And Ian says, this isn't necessarily non-gaming, but I've been listening to a lot of remixes / lo-fi of gaming music recently. It really helps me relax / focus.
Those are good channels.
Yeah.
I think there's one, the guy's name is actually just Luigi. I think he does a lot of it.
Hmm.
You know that channel. I don't know if you know anyone specific, Ian, if you have a specific channel that you go to.
Yeah, shout outs to lo-fi, hip-hop, chilled cow, study girl. I've actually, one of the things I want to do when at some point is do like a full rebranding of the in third person thing and get some more graphics and stuff. And I think like right now the visual inspiration in my head is study girl, of like making something like that for me. I think I have an artist in mind too, but I want to take care of the computer stuff first and then save up so I can hire this person
Makes
to do
sense.
this stuff. Ian says, I've been listening to Game Chops, which basically collects a bunch of different artists.
Oh, yep. Listen to the channel before. They're good.
Okay.
They do all the work for you by collecting everybody.
All right, Kris, another channel. Go.
Oh, what other channels have we been watching? Because really, it's been basically that. We really enjoy Games Done Quick.
All right.
That's just really satisfying to watch. I'm sure you guys all know that channel.
Yes, all the speed runs.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy. I like her stream as well. Kelsey Impichike, I think is how you pronounce her last name. She works on BuzzFeed, but then she also has her own game stream, and I love her energy. And she's also very good at streaming single player games in ways that I am not.
You'll get there, Jet. Don't worry.
Maybe one of these days.
And some of Ian's favorites are the Zelda and Chill and Undertale remix. Undertale music is so good. I love Toby Fox. Toby Fox's music was amazing. And I wonder if Toby Fox was the guy who did the gym leader music for Sword and Shield.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm guessing.
He did work. He worked on I know he worked on a Nintendo project.
He's in the credits for Sword and Shield.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, he's there somewhere.
Okay. Good for, what other channels? I'm trying to think. I mean, it's still kind of gaming related. I love trainer tips for Pokemon Go. He's basically the Casey Neistat of Pokemon Go with the very cinematic cuts and stuff like that.
Okay, that's awesome.
Though right now his videos not the most interesting because he's gone into quarantine, so it's just like him sitting at his desk playing PvP the whole time.
I know.
Yeah, it's got to be really tough for people who play Pokemon Go right now. Like you can't go anywhere.
Well, I know, but I think the Niantic said that like you don't have to go outside. They're like doing something with the server, so like you can play it inside more.
Yeah, they've changed some stuff around to make it easier to play from home, but just as a YouTuber, like the whole appeal of watching a Pokemon Go channel is to watch the people go into the world. It's really more like the appeal of in my opinion, the appeal of a Pokemon Go channel is almost more as like a travel vlog than it is about the game.
Right.
Yeah.
You just have that like little connection with Pokemon.
Yeah.
And Ian mentioned, Toby Fox's tune was in the Battle Tower. I'll have to play the Battle Tower more often then. They just do one? I can't imagine him just doing one song.
Other videos. I'm looking through my list. I subscribe to like 100 something channels. I don't think I have a feeling that's still not a lot. Although I also get the sense that most people don't subscribe to channels. They just like type in their thing or just watch whatever is served on that front page.
No, we have a good chunk of subscriptions, but like we don't subscribe too often anymore right now. I think the latest person we subscribed to was you, Jet.
Oh,
If
okay.
anybody watches this later, please go subscribe to Jet
Oh,
on
thank
YouTube.
you.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, who else have we?
I subscribe.
Because a lot of the majority of our list is actually the guys who do normal boots and him block. There's like a bunch of them in that group.
Ah, yes.
So we watch some of them fairly regularly.
Okay. Oh, here's one. If you enjoy board games, I highly recommend the Dice Tower.
Dice
It's
Tower.
Tom
Okay.
Vassell. They review. They're like the biggest source of board game reviews on the internet. But they also do like top 10s, and they're really nice group of guys and girls, and they do podcasts and live streams. And they've probably sold me on more board games than any other by far.
That's awesome. We'll definitely check that out.
Yeah. Any other ones do I want to shout out? Or any ones you want to shout out there, Kris?
I'm trying to think. Because right now we've been kind of just binge watching How to Cake It, in all honesty. We watched some Nerdy Nummies.
Oh, yes.
Although she doesn't do as much baking as, like, baking was more regular before. But I think she's kind of evolved her channel. She does a lot of, like, just random challenges and everything now.
Yeah, she's definitely more personal. Steph watches her channel a lot.
No, we found it fun. She did Steph watch, like, what was it? Like, hydro something with food.
Ooh, I don't know.
She-
For you, Kris, Kris and Rachel, do you watch the Try Guys at all?
I think we've seen them before, but we don't really watch them regularly.
Okay.
We keep hearing good things about them.
All right. I generally speaking, I think they're fantastic. I think the episodes you should check out for sure. They have a series called Without a Recipe, where they're given a challenge. They're not like professional bakers or anything. It's like, go make cookies, and then they have to make them without a recipe.
Oh god. That sounds awesome.
And hilarity ensues. And Randy says, it feels like 3 years since I left.
Welcome back, Randy.
Welcome back. Just talking about assorted YouTube channels. But yeah. All right. Do I have like one more thing? Maybe between the two of us, like one thing. Nope.
Pick a good one.
Pick a good one. Questions for Kris.
Do any of them wear glasses and shout, I've come up with a new recipe?
No.
No, they should.
Okay, do I want that's a weird one in light of the recent circumstances? Or do you want me to go for it anyway?
I don't know.
Okay, I copy pasted this list of 50 questions, and unfortunately it's kind of fitting. Actually, you go first. You go first, and then we'll end on this one.
I did the last question though. It's your turn.
Go for it. Double it up. It's fine.
I forget, a lot of my questions kind of went out the window with the way our conversation was going.
That's okay. They're just thought starters, and then we just go.
They are.
It's Fireside with Kris and Jet. This is how it goes. Yeah, tune in next week.
So have you thought of a name for your Animal Crossing New Horizons island yet?
Oh man. No, I have not. It is a good question though, because my GameCube version is named after a real life place that I probably wouldn't want to show on stream in fear of people figuring out where I live. So I need to be more creative than that. But then also I'm going to be sharing this with Steph. So we'll probably have to work together on that. Or she's just going to name it and I'll tag along.
Okay, that's what Rachel's gonna play the game first. I don't know if I'll get a chance to play it. So,
are you making it going? Are you gonna make it Wolftown 2?
Maybe, I don't know. I'll ask Rachel.
Yeah. No, I have not thought of that just yet. But and the last question for everybody, and this list was from years ago, but it's kind of fitting right now. If you had to live in the world of the last game you okay, it's not as bad. If you had to live in the world of the last game you played, what world would it be? And I guess for you and I, it's Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Technically, if we go to which I would totally be okay with. Let's go into the Pokemon world. That sounds so much better right now.
Yeah, this is true. And it's the video game version of the United Kingdom, which is definitely better than the current. Anyway.
If we go by the games we played previously, though, like mine would be Stardew Valley, which I am also totally okay with.
What was the last one I played? The last game I played Fantasy Strike. That's a fighting. It's fine. And then before that, I was playing. Oh my goodness, I can't pronounce the name of this game. Oh geez. Oh, it doesn't matter because we're not streaming Pokemon right now. Anyway, I'm taking my Switch. Can I? This is the whole. It's a fighting game, an anime fighting game called Under Night in Birth EXE : late square bracket CL-R close bracket.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Probably from you, because I think I remember you telling us that giant name, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, I don't want to live in that world. Definitely not.
No, okay.
Ian says he'd be in Murder by Numbers, so Los Angeles. I'm guessing Angeles in the 90s.
Yep.
And Randy says Ring Fit, which is a gorgeous world devoid of any homes or services aside from the store.
Which is perfect for right now. Ring Fit is very pretty.
Yeah, it's a surprisingly good looking game for what it is. Have you and Rachel played any more of it?
No.
Okay, that's fine. No judgment here. Steph and I started playing. She started her own file, and we're co-op playing Ring Fit. We bought a second Pilates ring, not the official Nintendo one, just one like Amazon Basics one, and then we play together where it's someone's just mimicking along with the exercises, and two people get a workout for the time of one.
Oh, yeah. That's a pretty good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Chip, you want to come up?
Chip.
Chip, come here. She's busy. Come here, Chip, come on. Come here. Come here. She has her toy.
Ah,
well, you dropped it.
can Chip hear me right now?
Probably. She's probably just ignoring
So
everything.
if I do this,
She's looking around for it. She's like, what was that? Come here.
so Kris, you want to tell them the story?
Oh, that's her horn. That's her air horn. Where is it, Chip? So Rachel and I randomly found that little mini bike horn in a store in our mall, and we were like, it's blue, it's an air horn, it's Jet. And we decided to take it home and send it to him. But Chip found it, the dog, and she's like, this is my new toy. I can keep this? And we were like, no. She was very upset with us when we put it in bubble wrap to send it up to you.
All right, I'll if we ever get to a point where it's okay to mail people stuff, I will make it up to Chip.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, she has plenty of toys anyway.
Yeah. We'll find a way. All right, and with that, I think that is going to do it for this evening. Sorry we had some technical difficulties in the middle and technically still having technical difficulties now, but I think this was...
This worked out better than I thought it would, so it's good.
Yeah, I think this was a success, and I had a lot of fun hanging out with you, Kris. And really glad we were able to do the Fireside Chat. I've been geeking out about this so hard.
This thing is great.
We will definitely have you back on here at some point. Maybe we'll make this a thing, like whether it's us or other people, we bring other people in or what have you, but just the opportunity to hang out and just chat.
It's like your talk show.
Yeah. And I know we even like we alluded to this, like I think the last time I was on your channel, like, hey, why don't we just like talk and make that the stream?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've done the performance.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And we finally did it. Look at that.
There it is. We did it. Just like everything we plan, it might take 1 billion years before it happens, but it does happen.
It does eventually. We're consistent that way.
Yes. All right.
But thank you very much for having me on, despite the technical difficulties with the battles. We'll have to have an actual better stream with battles.
Yeah, we'll make that happen.
Where I actually win one.
I cheesed you out with the legendary Pokemon. That's okay.
But I did get it down. I did defeat it at one point.
You did defeat it. All right, so back to the lab. But is there anything else you would like to plug before we go?
No, I mean, we technically have our blog, doublexjump.com. It's kind of slow going right now with life.
Yeah.
And we have our own Twitch channel, twitch.tv/xdoublejump. And hopefully we'll be back Friday, but we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it.
Okay. And yeah, for me, definitely check out the YouTube channel. The video on charity streaming tips is live. That's going to be the last one for a bit, but we'll be back with another season, and I'll definitely call you, Kris, to do some video stuff for the next season, and we'll figure out. But yeah, start thinking about who you would cast as people in Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yes, I have to figure out who actors are. Like.
And yeah, check out my site, inthirdperson.com, for more articles and videos on video games, board games, and the Voldemort 27s.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, until next time, thank you, Randy. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Hanny. Thank you to everybody that came by. It's time to get out of here. Later.
Have a good night.